Hello, guys. It's been again a little bit of a while since I posted a Dogmatika profile, and we've gotten a ban list. The ban list is really good, and for anybody that is saying that this format is doomed and everything, no, it's not. It's actually a really great format. The missing of Appaloosa and such make a lot of things simpler, but interestingly enough for this deck, a little bit less straightforward. Specific cards are not as good as they used to be, while other cards, of course, are better, and I still have to figure out which ones are better. But all in all, it mixes things up a lot and makes your local gameplay experience mostly fair. We're not looking at a certain 3 of level 6 hand trap that is basically an auto win whenever you activate it. If you have engine, of course. Simply because that card should have been addressed. It's not very healthy, especially if your opponent can just activate it when they go first, and then they build a board under it, and you're not allowed to play because paying cost to send stuff to graveyard is not possible under it. So anyways, let's get into this. Before I talk about this deck, there are a couple weaknesses of it. First of all, the biggest one is, funny enough, the deck I like to meme on about the most. Voiceless Voice is actually a problem matchup for Dogmatika for 2 reasons. The first reason is not as major. They sometimes play Nadir Servant and Maximus package, so they get value if you use Maximus, which is not the worst thing in the world, because we gain more value than they do, but it still kind of hurts. But the actual big problem is you can't target them and no extra deck monsters, so you'll have a rough time breaking the boards, and therefore I adjusted the list a little bit to consider Voiceless. Even though Voiceless is a bad deck, and what else can I say? And the other thing is the White Forest variant. I'm not very happy about it, the last video, because the Voiceless, the White Forest cards, if your opponent has any idea what they're doing, they will just throw their first negate on a Stellar, and that usually makes you -2 for them, -1. And usually that is a game-losing position, so that's that. Anyways, deck profile. This is the branded variant, the branded Dogmatika variant. We got slightly hit on the ban list, but it doesn't matter too hard. It's going to make our hands a little bit worse, but it's fine. 3 Ecclesia, 1 Maximus, 1 Fleur, and we're still playing the Ashian. Ashian is nice to have because, yeah, he comes up ever so often simply because of Nadir Servant, and sometimes you just need to get a ritual spell very quickly, and he just gets you the ritual spell from your graveyard. And also the chain blocking is still kind of a thing with him. That's obvious here. Ritual monsters, we're playing all 3 of them. Bite Knight is back because what I noticed when you're playing the White Forest variant and you're not playing this guy, you're definitely missing a little bit of versatile interaction, and having him as an option to end on is sometimes just better than putting down a Zoa with a Cartesia. But the bad thing, of course, is he locks you out of Cartesia, which kind of sucks. Speaking of Cartesia, and we cut Albaz down to 1 because we only run 1 branded fusion now. I don't see any reason to play more of them. These cards are still excellent. Cartesia is basically a must-play in the deck, in my opinion, because she is follow-up plus an interaction on your opponent's turn. I don't have the high rare print yet. 3 Gen, 1 Ken. Obviously busted. The idea of them is just to force your opponent to activate something, or if they don't activate, you threaten tactics, and you get a draw one, discard, draw two, discard one, which fulfills consistency in the deck. And it doesn't hurt too much going second to normal summon him because your opponent usually controls an extra deck monster. Unless they're voiceless. If you play against voiceless, you side all of them out. Because if they directly use the trap on it, you lose the game. Then for our spells, ritual spells, 1/1. Triple Nadir Servant, triple Matrix. If you're a longtime viewer, I don't have to explain. And so this is mainly for the long-term viewers. Dogmatika Punishment. Considering to side 2 more copies of this, but main deck you always play one. This deck has also a big issue in building an actual board, simply because you don't have that many branded fusions anymore. And that's why it's maybe a good idea to side more trap cards, including more copies of Dogmatika Punishment, because Punishment in Dogmatika is, of course, a busted card. One branded fusion was limited last list. I wished Sanctifier would have gone instead. Technically, we still have the ability to play Sanctifier, but no need. And to make up for this, we played triple fusion deployments. My last list played 2 of these, but now you play 3 because you want to have extra deck plays before you go into Dogmatika cards. Speaking of this, with the next deck building set, Ryziel is going to be released. And actually, I'm kind of cooking. Ryziel actually has great interactions with Dogmatika, specifically X Ryziel. You can send a Meteorologic Aggregator to special summon him. It's not even an effect to special summon him. It's just like you special him, your opponent can't do anything about it. And then you activate Chainlink 1, the dude, and Chainlink 2, Aggregator, and your opponent cannot ash it. You get a free body, you didn't even normal summon, and you get your Maximus set up, and you don't care about the rank 4 lock because technically Dogmatica Ecclesia is level 4, and you can still play Cartesia because you only fusion summon on your opponent's turn. You just cut this stuff and instead play Ryziel cards. If you guys want to cook with the Ryziel cards, I strongly recommend. There is a lot of potential there. Even though the Ryziel cards are probably better on their own. Now for board breakers, 2 Lightning Storm, triple Droplet, 1 Tactics Talents, triple Thrust, 1 Ultimate Slayer. In Ryziel format, we're going to play multiple of these probably. Then triple Imper. This is to ensure that we get to play the game when we go second. You basically try to sack them. You can decide to... so we're on 42 cards. The last card is here. You could technically decide to go to 45 cards and main deck the Perulias, because this deck is still pretty scary going second. And you could just like try to actively go second and maybe cut some cards that are end board related. And then you basically play the list with Perulia main deck. And of course, later when the new set main core set releases, you're going to play triple Varos and maybe 2 Perulias. Just to go for it, but we're not main decking it. Instead, I'm sorry. Not sorry. This card is basically just against Tenpai because it shuts down Tenpai most of the time unless they like Lightning Storm you. So the idea is just like, yeah, skill drain, go burr. And skill get drain, go burr is indeed a nice option to deal with weird dragons that somehow become unaffected to activated effects. Yeah, this is the main deck. And I will never cut this card because this card is so dumb. Should have been at 0, but I guess we can play it. Sadly, I would have loved it rather if it were at 3, so I can have even less skill by playing the game. Mirror Jade, Albion, and 2 Titaniclad. I was testing around with playing 1 Titaniclad, but it just does not work. The deck stops, the entire branded package stops to function if you don't play 2. So we do play 2 of them. We play 1 Granguinol, 1 Garura, double Antos, because reasons. It's obvious. Maybe it's worth testing to cut one of this for our next card here, Malong, to play another Malong. So if we run double Malong, that would be kind of great because it makes our Grangunol better. Because we have the option on our turn to send a Malong and on our opponent's turn to send a Malong, so we have higher interruptions, more interruptions. This card is cheap now, not in this version, of course. So this deck should be buildable for about 150 bucks if Triple Tactics Thrust is going to go down in price. Arclight, Omega. These synchros are basically mandatory. Another thing that I noticed when playing the White Forest variant, I was trying to cut Arclight to 1. It just the deck just feels kind of incomplete without playing 2 of them because certain lines just don't work, and I lost so many games just because I was not playing 2. In general, I'm not very happy with Dogmatika in its current place because 1-card combos plus hand traps plus shifter in every deck that can play shifter. It's rough. It's rough. But the deck is playable. You can beat a lot of decks just by overwhelming them with board presence. Almirage so that you can play the Genken stuff and Bucephalus too. Rhizio format, we cut this and play Mereologic Aggregator. Because we then still have a link monster that we can send. It's just not going to be as delicious. Yeah, that's the deck. Yeah, if I get a Rhizio, I could, on DB, if you guys want, I could try to make a video next week regarding the experimental Rhizio Dogmatika list. If you guys are interested. I think it has great potential for the deck. For now, I'm not going to play the branded variant. I'm going to mainly test the White Forest variant because the White Forest cards, no matter how bad they are so much fun to play. I really suggest to try around with the stuff. But if you want to play the most optimal Dogmatika version, it's definitely still the branded version, even with branded fusion to 1, because you can still search it with Thrust, and we still have a lot of options to deal with our opponent's stuff. Maybe it's a good idea to mess around with the non-engine. The only thing that I noticed does not really work is hand traps, and specifically Nibiru is very bait right now, again, even with Appaloosa gone, because everybody tries to prepare for a Nibiru. And if they prepare for Nibiru is less, less potent. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It was a little bit of a messy video because I have to go get back to studying. See you guys.